Be fun. There's just me and John. Which,
Yeah, this has never happened.
yeah. Jay's meant to be here. He's currently AWOL. He may make an appearance. He may not. I may not let him. I've got power over that when he joins in anyway. But yeah, Kyle's having a week off because, Kyle's always here, isn't he? He's a loyal host.
He never misses it.
I think he deserves a week off and to put his feet up. And plus, it gives you a rare chance to bully him, which is the most
Which never
fun.
happens.
So yeah, me and Jordan. Jordan.
I
That
don't know where
means
this could go.
Well, it means we can do sports. Kyle's not here.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah. So welcome everybody
To the sports hour.
to the. Oh God.
This
If
could
Jay
be a
turns up, he'll
disaster.
probably be confused. Should we just talk about England in sports in general? Because
But how they make the sport and then they are so bad at it.
we're very good at inventing sports and being terrible at it. But there's also a couple of sports that we're good at. But the more to the point, English sports people on tour, absolutely fucking crazy. So,
Drink beer.
Jordan, yeah? Do you want to talk about, or do you remember the story about what happened to, or what Monty Panesar did? Who was an English cricketer, in case
He
you don't
pissed, he
know.
pissed on some bouncers when pissed.
Yeah, he did. So this is a story about him being a bit pissed when he was out. I don't even think this was on tour. This was just out.
No, I think this is
No, it
off
wasn't.
season.
Yeah, it was in Brighton.
Nah,
So
understandable.
this is a just an article on the Bleacher Report, in amongst a few other weird professional stories. But it says we've all had our fair share of boozy nights when we get a little out of control, and pro athletes are absolutely no different. Might I add, especially fucking England cricketers.
There's, to
Um,
name a few.
they don't have boozy nights; they just have boozy months. Like they just it doesn't end.
Hold on, I'll find the story about another cricketer. Why are you finishing that?
Yeah, go on. So, popular English cricketer Monty Panesar was never the greatest at his sport, giving him some unwanted popularity for his failures on the field. But it was his drunken behaviour off field that became his biggest gaffe. After being asked to leave a nightclub for upsetting a group of ladies, no context there, he just upset them. So I don't know. He actually walked to the top of the nightclub's building and began relieving himself and urinating onto the bouncers below, who immediately ran up to wrangle the athlete. So he went on the roof and then pissed on them. That is proud English behaviour right there.
Oh, yes. Where is it?
So yeah, I mean, there's loads of football ones about football teams being chased off fields and shit like that. But I just thought I'll pick out the more unusual ones. So have you got the one you want to talk about?
It's a story involving Freddie Flintoff.
Have you found it? Is it when he stole a pedalo?
No, it's when, after they won the Ashes in 2005,
Right.
and they got invited to Downing Street.
Yeah.
So, him and another couple of the England cricketers went into the war room, the cabinet room, and Flintoff pretended to be the Prime Minister. And then, I think it was, they went into the gardens at Downing Street, and do you know in the garden they've got the bushes, like the flowery bushes. Yeah,
Yep.
he pissed in Downing Street's bush. There's not, and also he stole a boat in Australia once.
He did steal a boat in Australia. He also stole a pedalo and can't remember redoing that. And he was going in circles and couldn't drive it. So he's got a history. But I mean, it's Flintoff.
Yeah, it's Freddie.
What do you expect?
It's
Right,
quite. The ironic thing is with Freddie Flintoff and England, other people, right, that do these things. They do it. People laugh. People like Gaza and people that are known to have the problems with the drink
Yeah.
get ridiculed massively. But
I mean,
Gaza, I suppose, got laughed at when he brought a fishing rod and some fish.
a fishing on a sandwich
Sandwich.
to someone who was on the run from the police.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Gaza's a national treasure. Let's not bully him.
No. He
Uh,
did single-handedly nearly win the World Cup in 1990. So
yeah, pretty much. Well, he's definitely the best player. I wouldn't say single-handedly, but definitely the best player easily. But yeah, I mean, a shame, a waste of a talent, really. But you know,
it happens
it does happen.
when
It
they're
does
that
happen.
talented.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that was because I have spoke to people who, well, so this is indirect contact. I have spoke to people who have spoke to family members of Gaza's, and it was totally like he didn't want the fame, he didn't want the money, he didn't want it all
Nope.
in one go, and he couldn't handle it. He was never given the help to deal with it, and it all got out of control. And plus, he was straight into an England team that was full of like drinking culture and drugs and
And
gambling
doesn't
and stuff
also
like that as
help
well. So
that he was basically Newcastle United's main person in the 80s before, when he was
yeah,
only, what, 17, 18?
well, because he was such a natural talent, wasn't
And he had Glenn Roeder as a, God rest his soul, of course, that he had Glenn Roeder
he?
as a
Yes,
mentor. So, wasn't the
good start.
most, and to be fair,
Yeah,
most professional footballers at that time drank during the week and then played
yeah.
football on the
Well,
Saturday.
all. Yeah, all of them. All of them probably drank mostly during the week in between matches as well,
Yeah.
like on match days and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. In case anyone is wondering about this horrible, weird, glitchy graphic that I've got going on that isn't great, it's because I'm in our like storage room, craft room kind of area. I've got a little desk set up, I've got all my stuff here, but it's a bit of a mess. It's just storage boxes and shit behind us, so that kind of masks it, even though it's really weird. But yeah, don't worry about that.
We'll gloss over that.
Probably not be in this room next week, but we'll see. So Jordan,
Yes.
do you want to talk about England's 2011 Rugby World Cup team?
Oh, let's.
Because
Let's talk about some
um,
hand egg.
let's talk about some hand egg. Um, so
Our very own Jay's favourite sport.
there is, well, okay. It says, true or not, it's no secret that rugby players are typically associated with hardcore partying, as they often play with the same intensity off the field as they do without pads on it. Right?
Okay.
The story about England's 2011 Rugby World Cup team is absolutely insane.
If I remember rightly, they did really, really bad in that World Cup.
Well, it says, well, the team eventually was knocked out by France in the quarterfinal, so not terrible, but not great. It was their antics at and I quote here, "Mad Midget Weekender" event at a bar in New Zealand that's most remembered, as numerous players were caught up in a dwarf throwing scandal that is straight out of the movie The Wolf of Wall Street. Yes, the 2011 England Rugby World Cup team went out for a drink in New Zealand and started throwing dwarves around. But,
How did that not make the press?
well, it did.
How did it not get bad press?
It did.
How can I not remember this?
I don't know. Well, it was 2011. It was a long time ago. The newspaper headline was "Tabloid Heaven: Mystery Blonde, World Cup, Breasts, Royal Family, England Rugby Captain, Drunk, Dwarf Thrown." And I'll tell you why. Because you think, well, that's quite bad.
Till you read it.
But one of the team's players, Mike Tyndall,
Oh, no.
who was
He
married
is
to the
actually a
Queen.
member of the royal family.
Yes, he is. He's married to the Queen's granddaughter, Sarah Phillips. Was allegedly was alleged by the Sun. So
Not very reliable.
not a very reliable source, but apparently he groped a woman at the event. And more bad news, the whole story. And then just when that's bad enough, another player, right,
Yeah.
Manu Tulagi, decided to
Oh, not
jump
too
off the
loggy.
yeah, decided to jump off of a ferry and swim to safety. I don't, I I don't know why he wasn't safe on the ferry.
He's a rugby player.
The float, don't they? He didn't feel safe on the ferry, so he just swam. He just jumped off and swam. So,
He probably saw Mike Tyndall start throwing dwarfs and thought, frig this.
I mean, no, they stopped throwing dwarfs when they left the bar. They didn't keep they weren't throwing dwarfs off a ferry, Jordan. That would have been a different story.
Well, they are England rugby players.
But yeah, I don't know. So, what do you think of that? They definitely, I checked, they weren't throwing dwarves off a ferry. It was two separate events, but it was the same night, and it was the same people, and they were pissed.
Hmm.
Uh,
Obviously, it's a weird party with rugby players. Really weird.
yeah, yeah, it is really weird.
Oh, I
Um,
found the story about Flintoff and the pedal boats
Go on then. I'll let you do
in
that while I
the
look through these.
Peccadillos. It was at 4 a.m. and
Yeah,
he was England captain at the time.
right.
Oh no, vice captaincy and banned. He was banned for one match after being involved in a 4 a.m. drunken escapade
Escapade.
on a pedalo. He'd been on an 8-hour drinking spree with teammates after England lost their first match in the World Cup, but had to be held by staff at a five-star hotel in St. Lucia after he fell into the rough waters of the Caribbean Sea.
Oh, hi.
Do you know what, right? Of all the crap that Flintoff did when he was pissed, he's just like
Yeah.
one of us. If we were an international sportsman, and
Yeah, I mean, he's a good laugh. He's insane.
who would not do that if they were in the West Indies or Australia or
I think anybody would. If you visit the colonies, you got to have a good party.
later on, Flintoff made a profuse apology and said, "I know that what I did on Friday night was completely wrong. I have to take full responsibility."
It was
And
not
then
wrong. It was
I'm
horrible.
sure, like a year later, he did the same thing again, but in Australia.
He did. Yeah, pretty much. I have found some other good sports stories. Are you ready for this one?
I
So this
am.
this is British as well. During the 1928 Amsterdam Olympics, right? The defending champions, the British hockey team, so we're world champions. We'll come back to the next Olympics. They withdrew from the games because they were afraid of the embarrassment of losing to one of the colonies, the debutant Indian team. So we turned up to the 1928 Amsterdam Olympics as reigning world champions at hockey. India turned up for the first ever hockey games, and we went, we're not playing against the colonies, fuck that, and withdrew from the competition. But then, 20 years later, 1948, after India had gained their independence, in the London Olympics, we played them and lost 4-0 at home to the team we were scared to play for embarrassment.
Well,
So, I don't know. It does. It says before 1928, the British were the defending Olympic champions, having secured gold in 1908 and 1920. However, the Indian hockey team grabbed the gold at Amsterdam Olympics in 1928 with ease and consistently maintained its dominance for the next 2 decades. So we went, we're not playing the bloody colonies, and then they went on just dominated. Uh, So before the event in Amsterdam, the Indians had already beaten the Britons 4-0 at the Folkestone Easter Festival. The loss prompted the British team to withdraw from the Amsterdam Olympics since they were sure they wouldn't be able to handle the embarrassment after losing again from a colony. Uh, India then got its independence from British in 1947, uh, and the very next year, London hosted the Olympics. This time, too, India won against the British at the present-day Wembley Stadium. So
oh dear.
we refused to play them because we didn't want to get beat, and then they came to our Olympics into the Wembley Stadium, beat us.
But
That's
that is the
so
thing, right? In them days, the British sports teams were so up themselves that they thought they could beat everybody because we created these things, and then went, and then other teams were like, no, we're just going to be better than you.
yeah. It's it's just, I mean, there are some crazy stories in
I
sports.
found the one about Balotelli.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. He's never done anything crazy.
No, this is apparently about Balotelli's bib.
All right, go on. Is there a reason that it can't be worn?
Um, so I've googled something called the top strangest football stories of all time. And
Yeah,
of course, number 10 is Balotelli's bib. Because I'm sure this is where it was Italy were playing in the World Cup and he couldn't get his bib on.
yeah. Well, it was two separate occasions, wasn't it? Because didn't he do it at City as well?
He did it at Liverpool, I think. Yeah, he
Was it
did.
Liverpool? No, I thought it was City.
No, before a game, there is, of course, due care and consideration to be taken into account.
Yes, there is.
However, for maverick Italian striker Mario Balotelli,
Maverick.
who earlier this week turned around and said that if he had stayed at City, he would have been on the same levels as Ronaldo and Messi.
Yeah,
Um, this took an altogether different meaning. The former Manchester City striker was in the middle of warming up and had the trademark training bib on. However, in a case of shirts versus skins, Balotelli was unable to even place the bib over his head. This caused chaos for the Liverpool frontman as he struggled with the innocent party. A case of man versus bib was duly born as the papers went wild.
yeah, it was all over. I remember it.
And then what was it? There was another one where there was two teams and they all had the same surname.
What do you mean they all had the same surname?
Another light-hearted tale related around the theme of team names. Now, there are a wide variety of players who have names which are hard to pronounce. But how about 20 players who all had the same name?
Yeah.
This is precisely what happened when a game took place which featured people who went by the name of Bungay.
Okay,
It
that's
had,
unusual. So I'm guessing it was in a foreign country and it's a popular name there.
it had nothing to do with Silvio Berlusconi, as there was no
Berlusconi.
Berlusconi, as there was no bunga bunga aspects in sight.
Yeah.
However, a match was played out where everyone was called Bungay, and it actually took place in Bungay, Suffolk.
Yeah.
With less than 500 people called Bungay in the UK, this eccentric tale was a real sight. Whoa. Where is it? Oh, there's even the story about when Tarat missed his bus.
Aye. Well, I'm going to interrupt you because I'm going to tell you about an Australian rower named Bobby Pearce, who, in the middle of a rowing race in the 1928 Olympics, stopped to let a family of ducks pass.
Oh, that's nice of him.
He is very nice of him. So it says it was a quarter-final race when Pearce performed the much appreciated act of compassion that left an everlasting memory in people's hearts. He heard cries from the bank and turned round only to be confronted face to face by a duck, followed by a line of ducklings crossing the Stotton Canal. He slowed down like a gentleman and let the creatures pass before he resumed rowing. Meanwhile, his opponent. What do you think his opponent? Do you think his opponent slowed down and helped the ducks?
No.
Nope. And also a powerful rower, Sauron, took advantage of the situation which gave him a 5-length lead. Pierce still didn't give up and performed exceptionally well in the last 1,000 metres of the race. He was 30 seconds ahead of Sauron at the moment he crossed the finish line. So he absolutely went into beast mode and just fucking beasted this
To be
guy.
fair, though, at that point, my competitor side will have seen that and went, I'm going to win this.
Yeah. But it says Pierce won the duck interrupted quarterfinals and then went on and didn't lose his position as world professional champion for 12 years from 1933. He was the
Oh.
world champion of rowing for 12 years despite letting some ducks pass in a quarterfinal. I mean, yeah, I don't know. There's loads of crazy shit go on, but imagine how
Yeah.
that guy felt. You're behind, you see him stop, you think, what's he doing? He's letting some ducks past. I'm just gonna win. You fucking keep going. You look back, he's 5 lengths behind you. Next thing you know, he overtakes you and I finishes 30 seconds ahead of you.
I would be,
Half a
I
minute.
would be gutted.
How fucking, he must have been like a fucking speedboat.
I would be really, 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 really gutted.
Oh, I mean,
I would have,
yeah.
I would have retired.
Uh,
Oh, man.
uh, the main one that I found was actually a rugby story. um, was the main kind of sports story I had to talk about. So we
Does
are
this
going
involve
back.
England? Is this involve England's rugby team again?
Yes, it does. It involves the England rugby team, but you don't have to worry about it yet. No, you don't
Oh,
have to worry about the impact of it, because it was in February of 1889.
oh well. When it didn't really matter.
But it's I mean it's English. It's very English.
Very.
It's very English. I read a story one about I'll have to try and find it and maybe talk about it in another episode. But I read a story about I believe he was an Irish rugby player who wore a monocle because he was short sighted. He
I
used
was
to
going to
take
say. I thought you
and
were
he
going to
would
say he played pissed.
no he was short sighted and he couldn't see, so he'd wear the monocle and he'd run at someone and he'd take the monocle out, make a tackle, then put his monocle back in.
So there's my target.
But yeah, in February of 1889, during a test match against the touring New Zealand natives, i.e., it's one of the colonies, we're not going to lose to them again, right?
Well,
Bearing in mind, so New Zealand, this was, I believe it was around the first time that they wore the All Black jerseys and became the All Blacks, and they were actually really good at the time, as they are now. Um,
because New Zealand's the best team in rugby.
yeah, so England's A.E. Stoddart,
Oh,
whilst
what an
on the
English
attack,
name.
this is a very English story, Jordan. Whilst on the attack, lost a portion of his shorts, i.e., he got tackled and somebody ripped his shorts off.
Because probably
So
back then the New Zealanders didn't say we do not wear shorts.
yeah,
Crikey!
so as was the custom, it says Stoddart's teammates. So England's A started right. So it says Stoddart's teammates formed a circle around him. So it was what actually happened was he was tackled. He lost his shorts. They immediately realised what happened. The closest people to them were the New Zealand players. So the New Zealand team surrounded him to protect his modesty from the crowd, while he re-shorted himself.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, to everyone's surprise, England's loose-headed prop Frank Evershed took advantage of the distraction to score a try.
Oh dear.
So he got tackled, his shorts came off, the opposition team surrounded him, and he scored a try. But this is where it gets even better, Jordan. This is just still very, very English, so there's a bit of cheating there. That's English kind of miscreant behaviour in sports. Most of the 12,000 spectators expected the sporting protocol to be followed and the try to be ruled out, but to their surprise, the referee awarded the score and England went on to win the match.
Oh, that is so British.
And what makes it even more British is that in protest, some of their New Zealand players left the field, right, and had to be talked back into coming out for the rest of the match. And then after the match, they had to apologise for boycotting the match.
Oh my god.
Totally give away a fraudulent point, but you must apologise because you shouldn't have walked off there. That was terribly unsporting. But yeah, I the New Zealand native team of the time comprised mostly of players of Maori ancestry, and they had played 107 rugby matches during the first um, during their first tour, and pretty much won most of them. So they were a good team.
The thing is, out of all the sports, we're actually better at rugby than anything else. And a little bit of
Yeah.
cricket.
So there was a Irish. I'm sure one of the Irish man's teammates. So that Irish guy was in a team. Was one of the first. Was the first Irish team to beat England in rugby, I think. And I'm sure one of his teammates had one hand. That might be a different team.
Completely different sport.
I mean, if you turn up to a rugby match with a guy with one hand and a guy with a monocle and win, but I'm definitely sure that's a thing. Yeah. Um. So what you tapping away out there?
I'm finding something.
You're finding something. While you're doing that, I'll talk to you about some more sporting things. This is a very Australian story. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know, but it's funny.
Oh dear.
So, an Australian man is suing a museum, so that's American behaviour right there,
Oh, it's
after his
American.
attempt to outrun a virtual image of Olympic gold medalist Kathy Freeman went terribly wrong.
Oh dear.
So, I'll paint the picture for you. In the museum, they have a section of track,
Yes.
right? Which I believe is at 100 meters or is it 10 meters? 10 meters. 10 meters track, right? So it says here the exhibition encourages people to sprint down a dual lane 10-meter track racing against a virtual image of Freeman. So there's a 10-meter section of running track, and
Yeah.
on the wall, there's like a wall of screens that is the first 10 meters of her Olympic winning sprint.
Yeah.
And the challenge is, can you beat it? Can you beat the time? Um, and this went wrong for this guy. So, do you want to guess how it went wrong?
He didn't beat it by miles.
He didn't. Right. I don't know if he beat her or not. That's irrelevant, and you'll see why.
Did he get injured? Did he
He
fall
did get
over?
injured. He kind of fell over. Do you want to guess what his injuries were?
A broken nail.
Do you want to guess a bit worse than that? All he's got to do is
Hmm.
run 10 meters. But I
Broke
mean,
his
it's a full-on
foot.
sprint. He broke his foot, so you're thinking he rolled his ankle. It was bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Dean Smith broke his back.
What?
He broke his fucking back after
How?
slamming into a wall at the end of the race. They literally had the 10-meter track, a tiny area, and then a wall. He just fucking sprinted into it. I mean, I feel like it's a health and safety issue. If you're going, yeah, sprint as fast as you can, there's a wall there, but don't worry about that.
I think the thought that he was going to stop before it hit before the wall.
Yeah, but they didn't apparently give much space to stop. Like,
Eh,
they reckon that most people, like, back off before the end and then kind of. But obviously, he was going for it. He's like, no, I'm going to fucking beat this. Sprint into the wall.
broken back. Career
Um,
finished.
It's Melbourne Science Works Museum, and it was last June. He is said to have thought it would be a bit of fun before crashing headfirst into the wall and fracturing his neck, skull, and spine. This guy was shifting. He says, when we approached it, you could hear a message saying, "Can you beat Kathy Freeman?" And I thought, oh, yes, I'm going to give that a go, he said. Just as I got to the end, all of a sudden I went to slow down and I couldn't slow down quick enough. Mr. Smith was almost paralysed as a result of his crash and says he can't work anymore or even play with his children the same as he used to. He suffered a stroke and has been left in constant pain. He is now suing Museums Victoria over the attraction and lodged a writ in the Victorian Supreme Court last week. Mr. Smith claims the museum failed in its duty of care by not providing sufficient lighting and enough room for runners to stop safely. So apparently it wasn't very well lit in there either. So it was a bit dark, wall at the end. Go on, sprint, that'll be fine.
Hmm.
A spokesperson for the museum was unable to comment due to legal proceedings.
Oh dear.
Mr. Smith could, though,
Well,
and he did. But that is insane.
I've got a thing for you. I want to test your history of sport.
Oh, my history of sport isn't great, but go on.
Sport and quotes in
Sport and
football.
quotes. Oh, no.
So, the first one is I'm going to make a prediction it could go either way.
I've, I've no idea.
Right?
I don't do sports quotes, John. I just watch sport. I don't take notice of what they say.
It was a former Manchester United manager.
Fergie.
No, before Fergie.
Before Fergie. Uh, how far before Fergie?
Manager before.
The manager before. I can't actually remember who was who was manager before Fergie. Was it? So we got Ralph Rangnick at the minute. Solskjaer before him.
Yeah.
Mourinho. Van Gaal was before Mourinho.
Yeah.
Moyes
Moses before
was straight after
Van
Fergie.
Gaal. Straight after Fergie.
There's a few right. So Dave Sexton.
No.
No. No, Busby's way before. Uh oh. I can't remember. Atkinson.
Ron
Atkinson.
Atkinson.
Ron Atkinson. I couldn't remember his fucking first name.
And here's a one more recent.
Hmm.
The problem with my life is that I've said too much shit in the past and no one forgets it.
Oh, I feel like this could be a number of people.
And he's one of the managers to just recently have won the league.
Pep.
And it's not Pep.
Mourinho.
No, it's not Mourinho.
Oh. Oh, hold on. I've got J. Oh. We have got J.
I knew I would get your attention.
Sorry.
Satya, where you talk about football.
Well,
Yeah,
we spoke about some rugby as well. Fair enough, it was English rugby.
You've interrupted my sportscast.
I'm back after a whole season off.
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah, how long have you been off?
When did we start the third season?
You haven't been on this season, have you?
I've been off for 3 months.
Fucking Skyver.
I did. I left after season 2. I've been working deep behind the scenes.
You have, I'll give you that. Jay's been working hard behind the scenes. I've got to give him that. So it's got to be Klopp or Pep because they're the only ones that's won it recently.
Well, it's not Pep.
So it's Klopp.
It's Clippity.
Don't insult Jurgen.
Klopp.
At least, look, I went with a fake background. Jay went with it. Nope, you can just have a fucking initial.
You know, 3 initials.
My camera isn't working.
Sums up your life.
It does.
Oh, hi. Oh, at least I can talk other random shit. I was going to do sports with Jordan, but we're going to talk about a couple of different things. Oh yeah, do you want to do a couple more, Jordan?
No, it's fine.
All right. Do you want to talk about Jay? Do you want to talk about Bill Gates?
Go on then.
Do you want to talk about how he is? Wait there, and I want to find the exact quote here. Oh, where is it? Bill Gates is foreskin enemy number 1.
Is number 1 what?
What?
Foreskin enemy number 1.
Okay.
I thought the Jews were the foreskins enemy number 1.
No, let's not do that, Jay. Oh, hi. Why Jordan's turned his camera off now? He might have company in the background. He did say that Beth would be popping in. Right. So, do you want to know, Jay, how Bill Gates is foreskin enemy number 1? Because this story is going to break you if you're paying attention. Are you paying attention?
I am.
Right. So when is this? 2014. Right. When Bill and Melinda Gates took the stage on March the 18th for Vancouver's first TED conference, there was a group of small protesters outside, right? This is brilliant. So basically, Bill Gates had claimed that male circumcision reduces HIV transmission by up to 70%. And then allocated $1.2 million to the World Health Organization to fund pre-qualification of devices to assist in performing circumcisions and the development of guidelines on the use of devices. So basically, Bill Gates paid $1.2 million to help get people circumcised because he thought it would help reduce AIDS by 70%.
But did it reduce AIDS?
Well, one guy, Glenn Callender, who was ahead of the activist called Canadian Foreskin Awareness Project, thought not. But do you want to know what's the best thing about that?
Go on.
The Canadian Foreskin Awareness Project. Do you want to guess what the acronym that they use is?
CFAP.
CanFap. No one on Earth is more detrimental to foreskin than Bill Gates. Gates' astronomical mass circumcision funding will result in tens of millions of men and boys being circumcised, which will make him more directly responsible for more unnecessary circumcisions than any other living person. And that's why CanFap will be publicly declaring Bates foreskin enemy number one on Tuesday. That's what he said. That's what Frank Hollander said.
Oh dear.
He was really not happy. He went, Gates has clearly listened to the world's most ardent circumcision promoters, but has he listened to a leading foreskin advocate? I challenge him to hear the other side of the story. If you put Bill Gates in a 4x4 meter room with me and my foreskin for exactly 44 minutes, he will emerge convinced that circumcision is the wrong way to solve the HIV crisis. I don't think there's ever been a more unusual call out for anybody as a man saying, if you put Bill Gates in a 4x4 room with me and my foreskin for 44, I don't understand why. I've just clicked.
Oh dear.
I didn't understand because he said a 4 meter by 4 meter room, yeah,
Yeah.
and then he was talking about it, and then he said 44 minutes,
Yeah.
and I was like, what's his obsession with four? It's foreskin.
Fuck's
I don't,
sake.
and also, I'm guessing that this guy isn't circumcised, right? So he said, put Bill Gates in a 4x4 meter room with me and my foreskin. How would he go in without his foreskin? And I mean, where is it? A calendar maintains that cutting off foreskin from penises will not protect men from HIV and may actually give them false confidence.
We got the hand of Bill Gates. He saw like a crisis in STDs.
Well,
And he was
yeah,
like, well, the solution is just cut it off.
yeah. Not the whole thing, but yeah. He was like, right, you keep getting AIDS. Everyone cut your foreskin off.
Thank you.
And then this man from Canfa
Just
was
cut it
not
off. How
happy.
much you want to cut off? Just a tip.
There was a... CanFap calls itself Canada's festiest pro-foreskin athlete advocacy group. Its website says that they advocate for the human right of all children, male and female and intersex, to grow up with intact genitals. In other words, all children have an intelligible right to their own bodies, and no one has the right to amputate another person's healthy, normal genital tissue without their informed consent. I mean,
See, but there's a lot of arguments for and against having a foreskin.
yeah, but ultimately, I think it should be up to the person to decide, which this guy does say. He says he's not. What was it he said? He's not anti-circumcision. He's pro-foreskin, which is two different things. Because he said he hasn't got a problem with people do it for religious reasons and whatever, but it should ultimately be the person's choice, not just you might get AIDS, so we're going to whip it off while you're here.
No, it's scientifically proven that getting a circumcision will help benefits of keeping it clean and risk infection.
Yeah. Well, this guy, he can help out with that as well.
Well, just shower with your foreskin open more often.
No, where was this? Right. So, so it says the group seeks to educate, blah, 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 blah. So, in the most recent protest involved Oprah Winfrey's endorsement of Skin Medica, an anti-aging cream that contains cells grown from samples of genital skin. And there's the foreskin awareness booth. A family-friendly demonstration held at street festivals and gay pride celebrations, where calendar shows groups of up to 25 people his uncircumcised penis, highlighting what it can do and how to clean it, while educating the audience on the dangers of circumcision, with a few jokes thrown in for good measure. He puts a tent up at gay pride festivals and gets his knob out for people. What's wrong with this guy?
Sounds like my kind of man. To be honest, there's also a lot of fun you can have with a foreskin.
Well, it says with a few jokes thrown in. I mean, he has called his organisation CanFap as well. Though he doesn't offer hands-on demos in the booth. I mean, that's good. That's good. It's a good call not to offer hands-on demos. He is a proponent of what he calls foregasms, which is bringing yourself to climax using only your foreskin. And it says he'll be releasing some instructional videos for guys on his site in coming weeks.
What's this guy's name?
Glenn Calendar, you want the CanFap website? Actually,
Oh,
maybe don't Google CanFap.
How I googled CanFap.
Oh, Jay, this is not safe for work.
It just comes with Macmillan cancer support.
That's something very different.
How the fuck do you pronounce this?
Just CanFap. Do you want us to read you the name of the thing?
No, I understand the how to spell it, but the punctuation. I'm looking at the Macmillan cancer support. FAP is a rare condition that can run in families. If not treated, FAP can cause high risk of bowel cancer.
Oh, hey.
Familia adenomyosis polyposis. What was that say?
You give up on that one quickly.
Adenomatous polyposis.
Do you hear that?
Yes. Thank
So-
you for having a translator on hand.
It comes with sperm and babies. What? egg, sperm, child's genes.
Oh,
You know, I'm not taking the piss. This is generally I searched up CanFap, and this is one of the first results that came up.
yeah. No, I know. It's capital CAN and then a dash and then FAP. It's all capitals. Oh, I forgot I had that. Just to Shelley.
Canada FAP is not even a good idea as well. I'm not going to. Those images are burned on my retinas.
It's just Ryan Reynolds standing there.
FAP for children? What?
No, do not go anywhere near that, Jay.
This is an NHS website.
I don't care.
Oh my god.
Your FBI agent will be knocking on the door in a minute.
If I'm an FBI agent,
Don't. Right. I've in chat, in the company chat, it's just popped up saying has shared a photo.
yeah.
I don't trust this. Oh, for fuck's sake, Jay. Right.
Look at the second photo.
No,
There's a whole department.
the Oxford Regional Genetic Department of FAP for Children. Oh, Jay.
I'm sorry I ruined your podcasts, lads, to bring you
How was it on to the...
ranking for children, basically.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Jay, I'm going to buy you a present since you're back on the podcast, but you'll have to wait for it to get here.
Well, don't hold your breath. Looking at my calendar on my diary. I am here. This is how can I spell calendar today? Yeah, that's it. Today, 4th of March. I'm here on the 11th. Might be here on the 11th of March, and I'm off until the 8th of March. 8th of April,
Hmm.
depending.
Well, hold on then. I was looking to.
Right, I can't find this guy's website 'cause I was just curious how you can make yourself orgasm with just your foreskin. Yeah.
Well,
And I
since we're
bet
talking
money
about.
it's just the same principle, right? Of like when you go to the toilet and if you nip your foreskin together, your penis comes into a balloon. I bet something like that.
For fuck's sake, Jay. I don't. That's not sexual pleasure. Anyway,
There might be a kink
glossing
out there.
over that.
There might be a kink out there that is for that.
Since we're talking about penises, do you want to learn about the time that the king's mistress bit off the penis of a dead bishop?
I definitely thought something
Why
was
not?
going to happen to your penis. But go on then. I'm
So
having
this
some oat
is
biscuits.
yeah. So King Charles II's longtime lover, Barbara Villiers, was horrified to think her position as number one mistress was in jeopardy. So I don't know. There's a load of weird shit goes on, but basically she was the king's mistress. And everybody kind of knew it. She was one of a few, but she was definitely the favorite. But she was never officially crowned, because obviously they didn't get married. She was just his mistress. They had supposedly five bastard children. Um, but yeah, so she was the king's lover before he was married. Before she met the king, Villiers was briefly married. In 1659, at the age of 19, to Roger Palmer. Palmer's father apparently warned his son that if he married her, he'd become the most miserable man in the world. That just sounds like most fathers. Also, practical advice. It appears that Palmer's father might have been right. For less than 12 months after their wedding, Villiers became romantically involved with King Charles, who in 1660 was still in exile in The Hague. So he was in exile at this point. Um, so it says it all came about in Netherlands, where Villiers and her husband were visiting the king along with other royal sympathisers on a diplomatic mission. So yeah, and it goes on about then basically the glory years where they were together and stuff. Do you want to hear about the mock lesbian wedding as well?
Why
We'll
not?
get, we'll get that in a minute. But basically, Villiers was given the title Lady Castlemaine, and she frequently made efforts to outshine the Queen and Charles's other mistresses by wearing revealing clothing and more jewellery than other ladies at court. But life for Villiers soon changed as 15-year-old Lady Frances Stuart arrived. So she was no longer favoured, and she went into a spiral of mental health. So Villiers had a number of other lovers to turn to when the king was busy with other mistresses, and she apparently got up to all kinds of mischief with a variety of men, including a bishop who may or may not have been alive.
Oh dear.
Brian Masters, the author of The Mistress of Charles II, recounts an incident where Villiers apparently bit off the penis of a perfectly preserved mummified 14th century bishop. Like, that's a normal thing.
A normal
It's
thing in this country.
why a bishop's penis? And why did they have to emphasize that it was perfectly preserved?
Because it's a holy penis.
It's
A
God's
penis of
penis.
God.
It's
It's
very
God
holy when it's
penis.
missing. It's believed that in the aftermath of the Great Fire of London, Villiers visited St Paul's Cathedral to pray for victims, where the mummified body of a bishop was in a room in which repairs were being carried out. I'm assuming that's repairs to the room and not the bishop. You don't repair mummified bishops, do you? Well, you do have to just build his penis off. Uh,
He's
apparently,
perfectly
she
preserved.
apparently she asked for time alone with the mummified remains before she was caught performing an oral sex act on the body before biting the penis off.
Oh my Kale's.
I I don't know.
Is this some sort of like reverse Ghostbusters thing? There's no proton pack, so she's decided to suck off a dead guy, get his soul back in. To him.
I don't fucking know. Also, what's the reaction of biting? You've interrupted us. You're having this and just biting it off. I'll take it home with us.
That's going into the prison pocket wallet.
It also, yeah. So there was other things going on. Villiers went to great lengths to befriend this new Lady Frances and convinced her to stage a mock lesbian wedding between two women as a way of entertaining the king. It was also seen as a way for Villiers to convince the king that Lady Frances preferred women, as a reason why the young woman kept refusing him. So she even got this young woman that the king was fancied to pretend to be a lesbian to try and convince him that she was no good, so that she would still be the king's main mistress. Strange things have happened in this country.
And yeah, just realising that now.
Jay
Stefan.
and Jordan,
Stefan.
do you want to learn how to make a candle salad?
No.
Make a what?
A candle salad.
A
There's a
candle
reason that I'm moving on to
salad.
this from penis stories.
So let me get this straight, right? The whole length of topic is sports, penises, and candle salads.
No, there's a reason that this is in the penis line of inquiry.
Oh dear.
You've piqued my curiosity.
It was popular. It's a fruit salad, and it was popular in America from the 1920s to the 1960s. Right.
Right.
So, the preparation is: arrange a few leaves of lettuce on a plate or a decorative napkin. This forms the salad's base. Yep. Right.
You're not good to be like a food podcast host.
Well, no, I'm
up
waiting
and
for feedback. I want you to imagine it. I'm letting you imagine it.
Right.
So you've
So
got some leaves on the plate, yeah. Right.
yeah, what kind of leaves? Does it say what kind of leaves we need to
Yeah,
use?
lettuce leaves.
What kind of lettuce?
I don't fucking know. An iceberg lettuce. It doesn't say what lettuce.
I'm getting shouted at iceberg both directions, yeah.
Yeah, it's an iceberg lettuce, okay? Right. You've imagined some lettuce on a plate. Are we getting that far?
Yes,
Right.
got that far.
Then stack some pineapple rings on top of the lettuce.
Why? So you're basically making a phallus out of the pineapple rings.
This provides a niche to insert one whole, or more often half, of a peeled banana.
So you've got some lettuce on the plate.
Yeah.
Pineapple rings stacked up in a
Yep.
nice symmetry with the hole all the way down. You put a banana in a hole,
Yes.
and that's the candle.
For garnish, the banana can be topped with a choice of cream and a cherry.
I'm guessing that's on our menu.
Are you ready? Oh no. Okay, this gets better. The candle salad was known as an easy way to get kids to eat fruit. It's to get kids to eat fruit.
Well, you know, the Catholic kids, they go to the Catholic church.
A version of the salad appeared in the Mormon Children's Magazine
Oh, the Mormons.
in 2008, which included a bed of alfalfa sprouts and strawberry yogurt drizzled over the top of the banana to look like dripping candle wax.
You know, I'm gonna make this. I'm quite curious how it tastes now.
Jay, I'm gonna send you a picture of it. Oh god, this is terrible. This is not a good idea. This is not how you get kids eating fruit.
I've got pictures of it.
I've sent you a picture, man.
Oh, my phone's on the floor.
Well, you're gonna have to pick it up. It's worth it.
Hold on.
Oh, hi.
What the fuck's that one?
It's a candle salad.
You haven't sent me any pictures, but like, look.
I have in the group. Jay, that is how you encourage children to eat fruit, okay?
Well, I know what we're going to play with.
The best thing about that is Kyle's in that chat and he doesn't know what's happening, so he's just going to get a picture of that and not know what it's for.
The thing is, he's going to get that picture, and he's going to have the picture above that to look at.
The CanFap website.
Well, fat for children.
Oh, God. Oh. Right. We broke Jay. We broke him.
You know what?
I've been keeping the quite obvious penis salad for you, Jay.
If Putin decides to blow everyone up with nukes, I can happily die, and I'm known to seeing that image.
Knowing that, can we make Putin a can of salad? Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, do you remember our Mormon host?
What about him?
Do you think he has candle salads?
He is one big candle salad. Oh, hi.
Hey, we've got spam bots.
Yeah, we do. I've realised that.
You know you're doing well on the algorithm if penis shape salads bring out spam bots.
Yeah. I think that'll do for this week, Jay.
Yes, it will.
I think we'll say thank you to everyone for joining us, and we'll catch you again next week with hopefully Kyle back.
Probably a full house.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Kyle's just off this week because he's had a busy day. He's been stressed out at work, so he's having a rare chance to bully him. Is what's happening.
But didn't do much of it.
Yeah. So everything should be back to normal next week. Jay might be here. Oh no, you're not here. Are you not here? Oh, you might be here.
I am here next week.
He's been fucking told he is. So, Jay, Jordan, are you here next week? So we should have a full house next week, hopefully, if all goes well.
Yeah, I disappear on Monday the 14th.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Jay, do you like my background?
It's a very nice LA background.
I'm in LA right now. Do you know, actually, what's happening here is I'm actually in the storage room. I'm in the storage room in amongst the boxes.
You're all box.
So, yeah.
Have you put yourself in the storage room so you're not distracted to play on the PlayStation or the Xbox?
I have the PlayStation here and a TV here. The Xbox is upstairs. I just have a workbench in an area that's easy to work on set up. So I just thought I'd just jump down here. And my laptop was on charge here anyway.
Fair enough.
So that's all that is. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. We will be back next week with hopefully a full house and definitely. Oh, well, I can't say definitely because anything could happen, but it should be with our real host Kyle. The real Kyle should be back, not this imposter.
The real Kyle.
No, I am Kyle. It says there. That's got my name right there, Kyle. And I'm hosting. That's how it works.
Whoever's the host is called Kyle.
Yeah, whoever's hosting is just Kyle. I should have had a can of Monster.
If you enjoyed the sports cast at the beginning, first half of this episode, email in. We might bring a
and me and John
out.
can do a spin-off sportscast. Where you don't actually learn much about sports.
Uptheside.tv.
Jay, are you doing the links this week?
Links.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the host did.
Right. No, yeah, but Jay's here, so I'm pulling him into it. So I'm going to put them up on the screen. He's going to tell where to join.
Right, find us on Facebook at facebook.com/takingofair. Follow us on Twitter at taken off. TikTok at taken off air. Find us on Spotify by searching Taken Off or any other of your favourite podcast listening platforms. Buy us a
Anywhere.
coffee at buymeacoffee.com/taken-off-air. Search subtheside.tv/TOA for the new Taken Off Air website. Follow us on Instagram at Taken Off Air. Join our Reddit r/Taken Off Air.
God, yeah.
Support us on Acast at support.acast.com/Taken Off Air.
And join us next week. You can join us just by searching Taken Off Air, to be honest, and you'll get one, but we're available on Twitch and we'll live stream on Facebook and takenoffAir.com/live. So you can join us for live recording because we upload a week after. So this will be an episode that's uploaded next week. So if you want to hear we're a week early, join me live. You also get to witness the bullshit in person because we'll have a video. This
I
brick
do.
wall is not working behind us, is it?
No,
I'm allowed.
it's nearly as bad as your Elliot pad.
I'm still not allowed arms. But yeah, been a laugh. It's been a pleasure. See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.